Was your mom mad? How did your parents react to this? Obviously you saw the title and thumbnail of this video. I'm now on academic leave, basically a uni dropout. You guys dropped me a bunch of questions on my Instagram, so I'm just gonna be answering them now. Quick Q&A before I give you guys some advice on whether or not maybe you should drop out. Question 1, which uni? So the school I went to was the University of Calgary. It's not a crazy school, especially not my program. I was just in it for film studies, which is an arts program, and the reason I was there was just because my mom wanted me in school. With that, let's go to the next question. I got asked several times, was your mom mad? How did your parents react to this? Me and my mom actually have a very good relationship with my parents, and so I kind of made this decision with them. I actually didn't really want to bring it up. I knew it was probably going to happen. I wasn't going to go back to school after this summer, but I was on vacation and my mom's just like, so you're going to go back to school? I'm like, I don't know, man. What do you think? And she's like, well, I can't really control you anymore, so it's really up to you, but I could totally understand why you wouldn't go back, which was amazing because just the year before, when I wanted to take a gap year in between high school and going to school to pursue my business, my mom was not very fond of that idea. That's why I ended up going to U of C for film studies, which is not a program that's really going to get you anywhere. All right, next question. How hard was the decision? So yeah, honestly, it wasn't too difficult of a decision. It was basically a no-brainer for me, and basically all of the work that I'd been doing this whole entire school year was to build up to this, to be able to, you know, go on academic leave. And by the way, I'll just clear it up really quick. I'm not like dropped out. Academic leave basically is where you tell your school that you're going to be taking a break for whatever reason, and you have the option to go back after 1 year, 2 years, whatever your terms are. My terms are not finalized yet, so I need to finish finalizing that, but yeah, basically I have the option to go back if needed. But what was the question again? Yeah, like I said, it wasn't too hard of a decision. It really makes sense for me because I had basically been pursuing my business full-time, more than full-time. I was working like 50 hours a week on my business, and I was working maybe 40 hours in one semester on school. So yeah, I basically just made sure that I had okay grades so that I had the option to go on academic leave, but I was putting in basically all of my time into my business. On the other hand, like I said, this degree isn't super valuable. It's not something that's gonna, you know, land you like a 6-figure job, let alone like maybe even a job. So yeah, so it just didn't really make sense for me to stay in school. Next question is, why don't you fully drop out? Yeah, that's a great question. I would love to fully drop out, but the reason why I didn't is just because just the safer route to go on academic leave. So I don't have to pay them extra money to do academic leave or anything. It's just in the circumstance that I want to go back, I can. Also, my mom wants me to be on academic leave, just in case, you know, very Asian parent kind of thing, which I totally understand. So yeah, it's genuinely just like the smartest thing to do rather than fully dropping out. What gives you the confidence to make this decision, and what's your game plan? So yeah, the reason I made this decision was because there's a few reasons. So a lot of people that are dropping out, you know, they get like a funded startup, or you know, they're making like 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand a month with their business, even 10 grand a month, and they drop out. Or some people just drop out and they're like, I'm just gonna figure it out. Now, I'm not gonna diss anyone in any of these routes because you know, everyone can make it work, but yeah, I definitely had a few reasons why I was content with dropping out and why I was confident in myself. So I think the first thing is obviously, you know, the business is making money. So yeah, I have clients, I know how to get clients. I kind of proved myself that I know how to do that. And one of the big turning points was when I went to London, and I did not do very good in like the first week. I was there for 2 weeks to work with businesses there. In the first week it was really bad, and then in the second week I made some changes and I ended up making like 7 or 8 grand in just a week. I was very happy with that, and it kind of gave me it paid for my whole trip as well as the rest of my trip where I went to France and different parts of Europe with my family. And I realized that like, yeah, at the end of the day, like worst comes to worst, I'll just go back to London because I know I can make it work in a big city. So yeah, that was really a big turning point. But another thing is that I kind of had individuals that were backing me. So I have 2 investors, which is still kind of like crazy to think about, that there's people that gave me money, and it's not like a little bit of money. It's like relatively compared to things, it's like a lot of money to invest into my business. And now I have these 2 mentors that are kind of here to guide me and supporting me as well. So, and then number 3 is that I kind of knew that I would always make it work. And now that I've kind of cracked a system and a thing, even if like, let's say like, so I run a marketing agency, even if marketing was to fall off tomorrow, like I'm confident that because of the business skills I've built, I'm ready to go into something else to, you know, I don't know, learn AI or something and sell a business based on that. Okay, last question that I choose to answer is not a question, but on your decision, if you had to give your top 5 tips for first year uni, what would they be? So top 5 tips, do as I say, not as I do, because I didn't do this. So I'm assuming if you're gonna be in school and you're asking for tips, you're not planning to drop out. So I would say get as involved as you can. join as many clubs as you can, make as many friends as you can, just talk to everyone and like get everyone's contacts, because at the end of the day, like one of the biggest benefits of being in school is the network that you can build and leverage, right? For example, one of my clients, Arc Renewables, they're like a solar company. They basically built their company entirely with like basically just the connections they had from school. They just were a bunch of smart young guys that were working hard, that knew each other from school, from SFU and UBC, and they just kind of came together and they built this company because of that connection base. And all of them were very social people, which is why they were able to connect and build this company. So I would say, like, no matter what you do, these connections are going to come in handy at some point. Yeah, those are the questions I wanted to answer. I wanted to give, like, I guess 1 or 2 pieces of advice for anyone that's considering maybe dropping out. And yeah, so this is actually a piece of advice I received when I was talking to my like friends and family about dropping out, and it's that like whatever decision I make, I have to be confident in it. To anyone that's kind of thinking about dropping out, know the 2 sides, right? Know the benefits, like know the pros and the cons, but with that, be confident in your decisions. So don't teeter back and forth. And if you're teetering right now, then now is not the time to drop out. You can drop out when you're fully confident while understanding both sides. Let me talk about the pros and cons of dropping out. So the pros, obviously, is that now I don't have to go to school. Another thing is kind of having this location freedom and time freedom to travel and do what I want. Yeah, and like I guess those are like the pros of the main pros of dropping out. Now, what are the cons? So I guess this is like, what are the pros of staying in school? So like I said earlier, you have like this very vast network in school that you can be able to leverage if you're smart. So the networking and the connections you can make in uni are so valuable, and you know how stuff like spreads like that in school, if you can really leverage that, whether you're building a product or selling a product or whatever, like it can be really, really huge. So I would say that's like the biggest thing about being in school. Next to that is obviously having an education is a good, you know, fallback. But yeah, it's very weird like having this feeling that in, you know, a month or so, everyone's gonna be going back to school. And for the first time in my life, I've been to school for like 13, 14 years or whatever. For the first time in my life in September, I'm not gonna be going to school. I'm gonna be kind of on my own, working on my business, and it's exciting but also kind of scary at the same time, because I'm not going to have that forced structure on me. There's not going to be that kind of exciting feeling of going back to school. So yeah, I'm very excited to see how it goes, and of course I'll keep you guys posted. I'll be vlogging here on YouTube. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope I helped someone, or was at least entertaining or something. So let me know if you have any additional questions. Drop them in the comments and I'm happy to respond to them. Also, go follow on my socials, linked in the bio, or linked in the description below. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.